Hi,
Hello,
I'm Julian.
and I am Tom.
We are Team Binge. We are here to talk about Pluribus. This is episode 4 of, I would assume, season 1. This one was called Please, Carol. And we start not with Carol, but in Paraguay with our lovely swearing friend at the local storage container facility. Tom, before we dive into Paraguay and all of your knowledge of that country, which I
Yep.
know it's
Extensive.
deep-rooted, and you were going to do part of this pod speaking in Paraguay. How did you feel about episode 4 of Pluribus?
I thought it was good. I felt like we got some science-ish type experimenting going on with Carol that I
So
liked.
many questions.
I like that she is attempting to try to understand her logic. I like that she's a visual thinker. It reminds me of somebody else that we just recently potted on in Lee from the Lowdown.
Sure.
But I also like that we got a little bit more of this mystery man from Paraguay. I don't know if we have a name for him quite yet, but knowing that he's now kind of on the radar, and like we suspected, when this guy heard Carol say what she did back to him, made him think, okay, this person is not a part of this hive mind collective. So
Sure.
excited to see where that goes.
Sure. Tom, have you ever not enjoyed writing on a whiteboard frantically? In terms of brainstorming, in terms of playing a party game,
Pictionary? Yeah.
any of those. There's something about having a large whiteboard and just being able to frantically scratch something on it that just makes it incredible. So I'm glad Carol has this in her house. I will also say you discover how quickly you don't know how to spell something or like simple things as soon as you're in front of a crowd with a whiteboard. It's a very naked moment, I'll just say.
It's very true. I couldn't agree more. I feel like when you're typing, if somebody's like over your shoulder watching you type, you become like a monkey.
Right, exactly. And so, all right, let's dive into this episode. We'll go into Paraguay. We'll talk about this gentleman who will remain nameless. I think it's interesting that this kind of tackles how different types of people would handle this situation. This guy, what he has decided to do, his like proactive thing is to not eat the food, aggressively not eat the food, and then also aggressively check radio frequencies. I think he gives each one about like 5 seconds. He's got a timer. He's very methodical. I gotta be honest, if you gave me this job, if you were like, hey, you're gonna check every FM frequency, like give it 10 seconds on this egg timer, I would be like, oh, cool. Can I have a gun? Just one bullet's needed, and I'll take care of this right now. I'll finish real quick. Like, this was a nightmare to me. But I just thought it was interesting. It's like, this is how he's trying to solve it.
Yeah, and I think we don't really know what information he has. Like if he's had some sort of conversation like Carol has had where they kind of told him what is happening, because he's like even more so walled off than Carol, right? Like refusing to eat any of the food, similar to Carol, but like doesn't even want to touch it. He potentially doesn't know how this disease spreads. Like he's even like licking the empty can out of the trash, so like you can tell just how hungry the guy is.
A lot of licking.
And it almost made me
show,
think,
Tom.
yeah, there is. I was like, was he spreading his own disease? Maybe.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy is, again, I agree with you. And this is probably more entertaining to watch a guy like try to essentially solve like this crisis as opposed to some of the other characters we've met that haven't been impacted. They are all just living their best lives as opposed to this guy and Carol are trying to proactively do something, which I appreciate.
Well, I also think there's a funny juxtaposition of him being on this radio, like looking for frequencies where I'm assuming he's trying to find someone who's like communicating out into the world. He gets a phone call. He just assumes it's a bad guy and he hangs up on him. And then it's like, I'm going to go back to scanning frequencies where I clearly just got a phone call from someone who also is in the world. So like, I found it interesting.
My assumption is like that he's getting all these calls from like this collective hive mind. So like he's used to his phone ringing, but they don't even know potentially that he is out there searching for signals. So if he can stumble across somebody on this radio, then he knows it's like more true to form and not the collective manipulating things.
That's fair, but he clearly has some questions about Carol, and rather than like hopping back on the horn to be like, "Kay," I believe
Star 69, right?
Right, it's perfect. He like goes back to eating dog food. Which, Tom, I would like to go back and Jimmy, if you could splice this in. Tom, if you were telling me like, "Hey, you have to check every radio FM station. You have to use an egg timer. You have to like." And on top of that, you're eating dog food. Give me 1 gun, 1 bullet. Give me 2 guns, 1 bullet. I'll do the same thing. But like,
listen, he had some sugary snacks in there, right? He had a pack of sugar, some creamer. I mean, it was more than just dog food. And I think that was like Purina. That's like top shelf dog food.
No, it was not Purina. It was not the dog food where they play the commercial and it's like, no animal should only dry food their whole life. Puts them in the fridge. Do you guys hate dogs? Buy our dog food. You're like, all right, easy. My dog, I've seen it lick some things that are unmentionable. Like, okay, he's not complaining.
Yeah.
I want to go when he pours the sugar, the azúcar, into his mouth as well as the creamer. I was like, bro, you got to mix those. Like, make sweet cream and drink it. Like,
fair point.
This is all not just calorie intake. Like, enjoy life a little bit, my guy. You know, things aren't that bad. You got a Storage Wars episode all to yourself. Like, that's something.
Oh man, did you watch Storage Wars back in the day? That's exactly what I thought when he started open up all these locks.
Tom, I'm proud to say I never watched a single second of Storage Wars, but
good for you.
I'm assuming it played on the History Channel after they told us that aliens built the pyramids. They were like,
that sounds very right.
Welcome to the History Channel, where we open storage containers and we tell you about aliens maybe making the pyramids
that are 99% filled with garbage, and then they purposely plant some like ancient coin that they could take to a pawn shop and make a show around. Yeah, that's exactly how that show happened.
And then that producer's like, pawn stores are pretty interesting. Maybe this could be a show. And it's like a History Channel, Ancient Aliens, followed by Storage Wars, followed by Pawn Stores, or whatever it was called. Like, anyways. Pawn Stars. Yes,
TV I went down to Pawn Stars.
It used to be much better than this Pluribus garbage, you know? We used to watch storage containers.
I agree. Now, as I'm one to do, there was a close-up of words on screen, so I paused. It was in Paraguay, like you said in the beginning. So I had to put Paraguay translator. It was just kind of funny. Like, it didn't really say much. It said, like, notice payments overdue by 30 days will result in lockout and eviction of your belongings. There are no exceptions. So it's just like setting up the idea of him. And he even writes the note, I think, before he starts popping the lock, saying to people, like, oh, if you come back for your stuff, I took it off. I owe you if I take anything. Right. It was kind of funny to see him like still trying to believe that the old world still exists.
Right. He was definitely covering his bases here legally, that he was obviously cracking all these locks. All right, we talked about it a little bit, but this all leads to Carol calling him, them yelling at each other in Paraguayanese, and really, like, I feel like if she had called at a different moment, not when he was, like, resigning himself to eating dog food, maybe this conversation goes differently. And maybe this is, like, the show being like, hey, you know, just take into account the person you may, like, be talking to in the moment may have just eaten dog food. So, like, be nice to the dude collecting carts at the grocery store. Like,
that's fair.
You know, be nice to the telemarketer that just called you. You never know if they were just eating cans of dog food. So that's so how true. I'm going to get one of those wrists that's like, they might have just been eating one of those wristbands that's like WWJD and then parentheses, they might have just been eating dog food out of a can. You know, what would Carol do? That sort of thing.
We're going to put those in our merch shop.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think TeePublic allows us to sell those custom bands, but we'll look into it. We'll look into it, yeah. But I did like he writes down like Carol Esturka, which I think translates is Turkish. So because her name is Esturka or whatever, Carol Esturka. So he thinks she might be from Turkey. I wonder if that'll show up.
Oh, incredible. Tom, I'm glad you did the research because I assumed it was a Spanish word, and I was like, I'm just not going to look it up. And so I'm glad you
Paraguay
did that.
word.
Yeah,
it's a Paraguay word.
Yeah. All right. So we pick back up with Carol. This is 7 days after the event, and this is post-grenade blast. Took out, I'm going to say Carol, or took out Zoja's spleen or one of her
appendix,
many livers. I don't know. I hope we have multiple livers, but Carol, kind of checks in on her. She's healing, and then she leaves. And she, rather than taking the car she arrives at, she takes a cop car, which I thought was kind of a funny bit.
Yeah, solid upgrade, although it does have that radio, which she gets calls from later. But I like how she's like cruising down the street, flicks off the people as they're going by. Like, she's just living her best life.
Yeah, everyone's like, hey, Carol. She's like pulling people over and giving them tickets just because she can.
That'd be great.
She arrives at her house. The people have already like cleaned it up. The showrunners are like, hey, we'll blow it up, but we're going to put it back together. It's in the budget. So they put the house back together. I will notice, everyone should notice, Carol does not say thank you to one person that has helped fix her grenade going off in the front yard.
I mean, she didn't explicitly ask for help. One of the guys was like, the way you looked or the way you kind of moved your head a little bit, we thought you wanted us to fix it, so we fixed it. I mean, she got the mayor, for gosh sakes, to come, and which thanked her for her vote. So, she voted for this guy.
Yeah, he said thank you for your vote. She does not say thank you for picking up the shrapnel out of my front yard and being so quick on the jump to get the emergency services out here. I don't know. So she sends everyone away. Eventually, she brings back the gentleman in the biker clothes, which was great. But this is weird. We see the whiteboard now. Yes. I do want to say how classy it is that the whiteboards are like hidden. Like, that's pretty classy, right, Tom?
This is next level. Yeah, this is like world-renowned author style whiteboards where she's like sliding them almost like a professor style. Yep. And I do, of course, as we talked at the beginning, there were words on screen. I had to pause it, had to notate some of these, but it's all like her like Waikaro book series like notes, assuming this is probably maybe the next book in the series, but it says like killer sand flea men ? Raban dies again ? Love potion. Like, it's all like fantastic little like ideas, I guess, for her next novel. But I do find it interesting that she's getting her cloth ready to erase all this stuff and decides to push that one aside and use the other whiteboard behind. So she's not completely giving up on this book series, which I liked.
She doesn't want to lose all that brainstorming.
Yeah.
Tom, let me pose a question to you. What's classier? Obviously you live in a mansion. We've got that podcast money.
Bow ties,
What is classier? Having a hidden whiteboard, series of whiteboards, behind like kind of like a decorative board, or a globe that opens up that has booze in it. Now, before you answer, keep in mind there is enough space probably with a whiteboard that you could like tape booze to the whiteboard and store it behind that. But like, Tom, what's classier? Globe bar or whiteboard / bar hidden behind sliding wood panel?
I mean, I have to go. I'm partial to the sneaky globe that opens up to provide liquor. Now, like the globe that my parents have, it doesn't have like bottles of liquor. It's just open liquor. Like you just open it up and then there's straws on the side and then you can just drink right from the globe. It's very classy.
Nice. Yeah. No. Man, I'd love to be invited to your parents' house at some point. That sounds incredible. One day I hope to be invited to their house.
Yeah. Or anywhere, really.
The correct answer is the flat whiteboard because we don't believe in circular earth or globes, Tom. So that flat whiteboard, that flat whiteboard, you slap
this was the joke you were keying up.
Yeah, you slap that map on it, you tape booze behind it, flat earth, we go. We move forward.
This is excellent. Well done. Way to get us there.
Yeah. All right. So on the whiteboard, after she gets past the book notes, it's like, what do we know? And Tom, the floor is yours. What do we know?
She writes it all down. She's got a 5-point plan currently of 1, they're eager to please. 2, they can't kill. 3, they can't play faves. I think there's another like note that says like they even like jerks or something like that. Was kind of funny.
Nice.
4 was trying to change me, and 5 weirdly honest ?
Weirdly
so I think this kind of leads her out to her scientific investigation coming up here.
Yeah. So then she's like, all right, and I'm not going to say the word. It's a word where you sit down and question someone. Because
interrogate.
Yep, I'm 0 for probably 25 on this podcast, so I'm not going to try it anymore. I'm sick of the emails, which are at teambingepodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from everyone about the things that we mispronunciate. Ooh, I don't think I got there. All right. So she goes in, she's like, hey, you and the spandex, no, both spandex top and bottom, come in here, sir. His name is Lawrence. His friends call him Larry. And we sit down. I thought it was interesting that, like, the questions she posed to him almost exclusively are like, do people like my writing? And maybe this speaks to the lack of self-confidence that authors have. Other than like Stephen King and probably I don't know L. Ron Hubbard, you know, one of the best authors in the world.
Stephen King and L. Ron Hubbard,
and I guess Moses when he authored the Ten Commandments or whatever.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore of authors. Yep.
The top 3, they say. She's like, do you love my books? Like, do you... I just thought it was so interesting that was where the line of questioning started.
Yeah, it's like she's trying to understand, I guess, their honesty. I feel like she knows in her heart of hearts that her books are kind of garbage, or at least to her. So she's just wanting to get them to agree to this, even though she doesn't, like... They probably think when they're answering this, they're not going to make her happy. So they're trying to kind of beat around the bush. But I do want to call out this guy that plays Larry. I don't really know the gentleman, but I believe he just recently won an Emmy for some new TV show or show that's been out for a while. His name is Jeff Hiller. He did a fantastic job, and I loved his acting and back and forth with Carol in this scene.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was, but he's that guy. Like, I've seen him in a ton of stuff, and he has a very distinct, like, mannerism. And
when he wears those bike shorts all the time, it's distinct.
Yeah, well, there's definitely it's recognizable. This would be like the equivalent of me if I had Larry sitting in my living room. I like walked out in my sweet leather bomber jacket, and I was like, hey, what do you think of me wearing this leather bomber jacket? And him being like, we think it gives you a lot of confidence, and we're glad that you like it. Like, that's essentially what happens here. And so, but she digs in deeper. She's like, because he ultimately is like, we love your books. And she's like, give examples. And so it's funny that he can go into the deep recesses of the hive mind and be like, hey, certain people love this. Like, we have Moira that loves, certain parts of this. But he ultimately compares her books to Shakespeare. And this is, well, not my mother. This is a bad example. But this is like if you asked your mother if you were good at something or if they liked your art. Like, they'll be like, oh, your art is the prettiest art of all the art.
All the art.
Yeah. So I don't know. I found this very funny. And Ray, she does so much with her face. Like, you can kind of see what she's thinking. So I just enjoyed all this back and forth.
Yeah, it was really good. I like the bit too where, like, even though she thinks like her work is garbage, like the idea of bringing up Moira and she was like suicidal and these books like brought her back to life and she like really found herself in these or whatever it is. Like, I like that concept of like, even if you perceive it to be garbage, like it can still bring other people joy, which makes me think of this podcast. It's garbage, but it might bring some people joy, you know?
Is my mom on? Did my mom just take over your microphone? Because that sounds, other than the joy part, you sounded exactly like my mother. The first part, definitely. I think my wife pointed it out that the person they quote, I don't know, I was pretty hammered, but I think Moira is Moira McAllister. I think is what they say her name is, which is a callback to the woman that plays both Moira in Schitt's Creek as well as Macaulay Culkin's mom in Home Alone. I think
that's fantastic.
I think she made I believe that's what my spouse said. Was I just really? I don't know, Tom. I
don't know. Moira is a very distinct name, and like the play by the fantastic and incomparable Catherine O'Hara. But it'd be great if they're playing homage to her.
Some sort of crossover. I mean, ultimately, what we discover is that Moira was going to kill herself before she discovered these books. Which,
sadly.
powerful stuff. These pirate books. They can, if only Darn it. If only not Jeremy. If only John from Wedding Crashers would have glanced at these books, he would have not thought about killing himself.
Deep cut. Go check out our back catalog for our Wedding Crashers.
I don't think that one. No, that one is certainly not for kids. We got in trouble for that one.
We brought our wives on for that one.
Yeah, we did. I definitely am still paying for it. All right.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels. On everything from lamps to ceiling fans. Even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes. Now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox. Clean feels good.
Ultimately, this leads to, hey, what did Helen think of my books? And as an audience member, we all audibly gasped. We were like,
yeah.
I have a rule in life. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. And I've said this to my parents a couple of times in life. And I hope one day my children say it to me. But this is a question you just don't ask the truth machine,
Yeah, and the response he ultimately gets is she thought they were harmless, that they were cotton candy, and yeah, I don't understand why. I get she's trying to get them in a lie or to see if they're going to constantly be honest, I guess. But going down this rabbit hole when you already told them hey, don't bring up the Helen of it all, you're forcing their hand on it. It seemed rough, and she's only making herself more depressed in all of this.
Sure, and is cotton candy really that harmless, Tom?
I mean, sure. As long as you're monitoring your blood sugar, you should be all right.
More than 0 people have been killed by cotton candy, guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is to speak to, it is very maybe enticing to be I can, get answers from, people that
true,
love me.
honest answers.
Yeah, I get true, honest answers. So I understand that. Part of me is hey, does Carol not realize people say things? Don't we all realize people say things to spare our feelings all the time?
Yeah, exactly. White lies.
I have a leather jacket. People say things to spare my feelings when I wear that leather jacket.
In 100 degrees, Arizona.
Yes, exactly. In a place where there's absolutely no reason to have a fake leather jacket. But I didn't know if it was speaking to, is Carol, as the unhappiest person in the world, is this part of her, she just needs to, I think Helen even says it in the Ice Castle. She's you just like to be upset. Is this just
right.
Carol picking at a wound she knew was there, but she could never get confirmation when Helen was there, someone who loved her and would protect her feelings. I don't know if this was saying more about Carol or if this was more about the investigation itself. I think it probably says more about Carol, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I get that you want to go to the nth degree and confirm that they're they can't lie kind of thing, but this seemed to be self-deprecating and not really necessary. There are probably other ways to go about this. But also leads to her heading back to the whiteboard, right? Erasing the weird honest or weirdly honest and then putting can't lie.
Can't lie.
Which she then, tries to figure out. which I like this next sequence of trying to do some scientific experiments to figure out a little bit more about what's going on in the world.
Yeah. We should say that, I mean, the real kick in the kneecap is she asks about her other book, Bitter Chrysalis, and we find out that Helen didn't finish it, which just brutal for an author to find out your family member didn't finish your work and thought it was cotton candy or whatever. So
I finished your work, buddy.
All right, let's go to Zosia in the hospital. We hear a rare apology out of Carol. She's like, she sees Zosia. She sees that Zosia is in pain. She's like, hey, sorry I got you hurt. She really has to force this out. For someone that blew a grenade up in her front yard and wounded this poor woman, but she does say sorry. So we'll put points in Carol's corner, I guess.
Yeah.
This leads to Carol asking Zosia, like, hey, can we reverse the joining? And Zosia, so what we would find out is that there is a way to reverse it because Zosia doesn't say no. She, works her way around it, which leads to Carol being like, well, you can't lie. So obviously there's a way to do this. And she relates it to, which is interesting to find out more about Carol's backstory. And we've touched on this with like her not making Raban female in her books, coming down to when she was younger, obviously finding out that she was gay and her parents not being accepting. She relates what they are doing to her right now in terms of trying to change her, make her joy, to conversion therapy of her youth. And so I guess I can see having that childhood trauma and memory and relating it to what they're doing here. You see maybe where some more of the resistance and unhappiness is coming from.
Yeah, Carol. Exactly. And even that final line I think that Zosia says, where it's like we've been you, but you've never been us. The kind of concept of you just need to see it from our eyes is kind of interesting to think about. But yeah, being able to kind of frame up her backstory a little bit more and why Carol is kind of reacting to the situation, I thought was incredibly well done and crazy to think about that her at 16 sent there by her mom for conversion therapy. Got to be devastating.
Right. This all leads to her. We do some stuff in the end of this episode. I enjoyed this episode, Tom. I still enjoy the show. I've got questions about the back end of this. So she ultimately goes to the pharmacy, the hospital, and she finds I think it's sodium pentanol or something along those lines, and I believe it's what they call truth serum. So you take it, the doctor shows up. She's like, hey, to hide kind of what she's doing, and I think in order to get needles, she's like, hey, can I have some heroin? Which
remember last time?
Strong, yeah.
The doctor tried to tell her not to do it. She's like, well, if you're gonna do it, make sure to snort it.
Right.
Just good advice.
Yeah. Strong advice. That's what our DARE officer said when we were young. Snort it. Nothing with needles. Only snorting. He became police chief shortly thereafter. Anyways, so she flushes some perfectly good heroin down the drain, which
what a
Tom,
waste.
I guess, take a moment to pour one out for the homies. I think we were all upset by this. Store it. Maybe you need it later. Maybe heroin's what fixes everyone. We don't know that yet. Have we?
Exactly.
Have we given it to anyone? No, we haven't.
That's for later scientific experiments. She'll record herself later.
Right. So, okay. So she injects herself with, we'll call it truth serum, because I don't know exactly what it's called. She turns on a camcorder. We get this cut where she falls asleep on the couch. What was this experiment? What was she trying to do here? What did she expect?
I think the idea of you hear truth serum in a show or a movie, you think it's just kind of bollocks and it doesn't actually work.
Okay.
But I think the idea of she took that book from the pharmacy too, in terms of what doses to give what people. So she gave herself that specific size dose, rewatches it. I would argue she fast forwarded through probably a lot of fun stuff of her just banging pots in the background or doing whatever. It was pretty funny. But I think once she got that admission at the end of saying essentially she's attracted to Zojia, she knows that, okay, like this is something I would never necessarily say out loud, but this drug is making me open to saying this. And then she feels like she hit the jackpot and now can Zojia for truth telling 101.
Why wouldn't you just go straight to injecting one of these mindless hive people? I don't know. I found this questionable. Like
I was confused when I was watching it. Yeah, like, and the scene went on for a long time, and I wasn't really sure what she was doing until later. But I mean, I think like Vince Gilligan's kind of sort of known for that. Like he'll let some of these scenes cook and just let Rhea Seehorn just kind of do her thing, which she was fantastic in this whole sequence.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. It was very funny. Like I wasn't taken out watching. I was just confused. And one of the things they didn't do is, like, I don't believe they really explained what sodium pentothal. Like, they showed the label, and maybe just enough people know what that is. But I think if you're like not a pharmacist and you see that, you're like, what? I don't understand what she's like. What is she injecting into herself? It's not.
It's
heroin.
almost like this whole sequence was just to tell the audience, if they didn't know already, that this is a true serum.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's fair. I see it now. Gilligan, I see what you're doing.
I see you smashing those coconuts together.
Yep, exactly. Taking Marianne out on a island date. Okay. I did not understand this plan. I thought this plan was insane. I don't know. She like wheeled her out into the courtyard, like where there's no safety, where there's a crowd. Like
I think she's trying to get distance. Like she knows there's a bunch of people in the hospital still, so she's just trying to get her out in the open and try to buy time for her to ask these questions. Because
throw in the back of the cop car and drive out to a field like they do in Seven, and so she'll be like, "What's in the box?" And she'll be like, "Don't worry about that right now. Take care of that later."
That's a fair point. Like, or going to like the top floor of the building and locking the door probably would have been better, but it did give us this awesome
her down the stairs in that wheelchair. See how far she gets. I get what you're saying, Tom. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's all just set up for this super cool shot of all these dudes like and people just kind of coming in like
zombies.
Yeah, just like all engulfing her, like saying, Carol, please, like in terms of trying to stop her from asking these questions, because it's like Zoja's like trying to answer, but she knows she like can't or shouldn't. Like it's such a weird and interesting dynamic, which ultimately leads to her unfortunate cardiac arrest. So we save her in the last episode after killing her or almost killing her, and now seemingly did we finish the job here, or do you think she's going to be back?
Every episode we almost kill Zoja. That's where it's.
That's
we
the
almost
new
killed her
tag.
with Kumba. We almost killed her with a grenade. We almost killed her with truth serum.
Poor Zoja.
I did not understand what so she was just trying to force her to tell her how to reverse it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This plan seemed absolutely wild to me. And
are you sure that they know? Yeah, like, do you think that they know how to reverse it? And they're just not saying it because of, some kind of directive they kind of quote unquote have? Or
I think
do they not know?
They could have answered with, we don't know how to reverse it, and that would have been the truth, and that would have worked. But the fact that she didn't get a direct and negative, and she didn't get an I don't know, she got a, like, what these people do is they talk around an answer they don't want to give. Right. So I think they do know how to reverse it. I don't know. I don't know. I found the crying mob around here. It all looked really cool. But I've never been in this situation, Tom. I've never been, recently I was surrounded by zombies in the VR world. I panicked, fell to my knees, and I cried. So Carol's doing the best she can. I just found this, like, the home video and the hospital scene a little bit insane, but
I agree. I love the idea though, like the reveal here that we get that there is and possibly will be a way to reverse all of this really opens up the kind of mystery, kind of moving forward, and how they could potentially get it out of the hive mind.
Sure. I mean, what happened to just holding them all hostage with an atom bomb? Like, rather than rather than giving one person cardiac arrest with truth serum. Let's give everyone cardiac arrest with an atom bomb,
Well, I don't even think she needs an atom bomb, right? She can just yell at him for like 10 seconds, and then she's going to kill a couple million people.
That's true. Well, onward to episode 5, Tom. I don't know. I don't have any great mystery to ask of the next episode. I'm going to I guess we're wondering if Zoja's still going to be with us.
Yeah.
I did think that it was funny that the guy from Paraguay had his own pirate lady. It was like a nice older lady dropping off food. And so I often wonder who would be my pirate lady that would show up to deliver me grenades.
Oh, it'd be me, buddy.
Yeah. And why would it be Sydney Sweeney, I guess is the question. No. Anyways, okay. For those of you still listening, you can reach us at teambingepodcast@gmail.com. We would very much appreciate if you have the time on Spotify or Apple to rate and review us. Only kind things. The mean things, well, just leave that to our mothers, you know?
Yeah.
Tom, what did I forget?
Yeah, follow us on the socials at Team Binge or at Team Binge Podcast on Blue Sky, on Twitter, on Instagram, and Threads. Let us know what you think about the show. Let us know what your theories. If there's any of the translations in Paraguayan that we missed, please let us know. And as always, I'm excited for more, man.
Oh, yeah.
Digging the show.
All right, for Tom, for Team Binge, I've been Julian.
Julian, for Tom, I've been Tom. Bye, everybody.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here, wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.